Do you think the stock markets are going to maintain this glass half full approach as we see the coronavirus really spreading more into Europe?
Well, I think I got asked about this a week earlier. We think that the equity markets are kind of complacent about the current situation. I think most of the market participants were expecting the virus to be contained in China or globally by the end of February, and we're approaching that already. And it does seem that, the cases are contained in China, but the rest is now spreading to the rest of the world. And I think it is actually a bit more concerning because I think China, they have the power to quarantine the whole region, to actually have very strict controls on the movement of people. But if you're talking about cases spiking in Italy, you have free movement of people in the European Union, and it's much harder to control that outbreak compared to the controls in China. So there's a real risk here to the already fragile European economy. So I think, I think the markets are kind of complacent. I mean, previously, previous week we saw that equities were record high. I think that was too complacent. I think the market setup is kind of a natural reaction to what's happening now.
And so how much of an assessment can you make at this point, Janet, about the Chinese economy and whether that the path for it is V-shaped, U-shaped, L-shaped? What kind of impact does that have? Is it still too early to say?
I think it is a bit too early to say at the moment. I think a lot of people are expecting a V-shaped rebound, so just a very sharp hit in Q1 and then Q2 you rebound because of the pent-up demand and investment. What we see now is that activities have definitely slumped in the immediate aftermath, and we have seen some recovery in the high-frequency data, but it's just a very modest recovery at this stage. And I know that the factories are restarting. I think over 50% of the factories are actually restarting and stuff, but then actually the capacity is still low compared to where they should be. So I would say the risk is more towards the downside, especially now with the global uncertainty now. I think China may need to restrict travel from the other country, vice versa. I just think the situation is getting a bit worse than people have been anticipating.